Not the shrinking cap, Grandpa!
Catch me if you can!
Grandpa! No! Be careful! Grandpa, stop! Grandpa in my pocket! This is me, Jason Mason, and I live here in Sunny Sands. It's called Sunny Sands because it's always sunny and it's by the sea. This is Mr. Whoops' toy shop, where you can buy anything and everything. And here's Miss Smiley's cafe, which serves the best ice cream sundaes in the world. My dad loves working in his bike shop, and we all love spending time at our beach hut on the beach. This is my house where I live with my mum, Dad, Sister Jemima, Grandpa, and his dog Beowulf. Beowulf is a very clever dog, and he loves playing games. In fact, we all love playing games, and today we were playing table football. Dad had borrowed a table football game for the weekend. I was on the red team with Grandpa, and Dad and Jemima were on the blue team. The whole family had got into the football mood. Jemima had even dressed her dolls, Peter and Persephone, in football kit.
Go!
Grandpa, you scored again!
Oh, well, I've always been good at football.
Shame you can't play anymore, Grandpa.
Yes, great shame.
Then Mum came into the garden. She'd just had a phone call.
I've just had a phone call. Guess who's coming over? Cousin Alvin. I told him about the table football. He can't wait to have a go.
But I thought Alvin didn't like sport.
He didn't, but he does now.
Cousin Alvin is always changing. Sometimes he's into playing music. Sometimes he's into eating ice cream. Sometimes he's into dancing. And sometimes he's into lying about on the sofa doing absolutely nothing. But now Cousin Alvin was into this. Sport, sport and more sport.
Don't overdo it, Alvin.
I'm okay. I need to get really fit so I can win at everything.
Oh, so you're into winning, are you?
Of course. There's no point in playing if you can't win.
Yes, this was the day we discovered that Cousin Alvin was in it to win it.
Go! That's another
And it wasn't long before Alvin was winning at table football.
3-0! 3-0!
I knew what Grandpa was thinking.
Let's make it 4.
I think I'll go for a little lie down.
Go!
I can't stand much more of this. We've got to make Alvin see that it's okay to lose.
He'll never see that.
He just might if my plan works. Only I need to be small.
Not the shrinking cap, Grandpa.
Catch me if you can.
You know when Grandpa shrinks, he can get up to all kinds of things. He can drive off in my car. He can even fly off in my plane. Grandpa! He can chuff about in our Sunny Sands train. He can get into all sorts of very small places. Or he can just run for all he's worth. And he wasn't the only one running. Alvin was making everyone jog on the spot to see who could keep going the longest. First, Mum gave up.
I don't think I was meant to run.
Then Dad.
Sorry, I can't take any more.
and finally Jemima.
You're too good, Alvin.
I knew I'd beat you. I am the champion.
It was time to put Grandpa's plan into action.
So, what game should we play next then?
Don't look at me. I'm worn out. I think I'll go for a little lie down like Grandpa.
How about some real football? Or rugby?
I needed to get Alvin inside. I needed an idea, and I needed it fast.
How about Snap?
Snap?
Might not have been my best idea.
That's not a sport.
Are you saying you couldn't beat us at Snap then?
I could easily beat you at Snap. Bring it on!
So we went inside and started playing Snap.
Your turn, Jason.
No stopping allowed. Snap! Ha! You two are so slow.
Alvin was winning again. If Grandpa was going to do something, he needed to do it now.
Ow! Something just nipped me on the ankle. Has Beowulf got fleas?
No.
Of course, I knew it wasn't a flea. It was Grandpa.
Ow!
Snap!
That's not fair.
You're the one who said no stopping allowed, Alvin.
But I'm being attacked by a pesky little flea. I'm not playing anymore. It's a baby's game anyway. Who cares about winning a Snap? I want to play a proper sport. What else have you got?
So Jemima suggested we play our tennis game.
Great. I'll easily beat you.
Well, you got Alvin to lose, Grandpa. But he didn't find it fun.
It's got to be worth another try. Anyway, I'm rather enjoying being a pesky little flea.
So Mum got the tennis game out of the garage. And Jemima and Alvin started to play. The pesky little flea ran into the garden and hid behind a flower pot right next to Alvin. I was really worried that Grandpa would be spotted, but luckily everybody had their eyes on the ball, so they didn't see the flea creep out and nip Alvin on the ankle.
Ow, ow! It's that flea again!
I won!
No, you didn't.
I think she did, Alvin.
I don't want to play anymore.
Nor am I. You're such a bad loser.
I didn't even lose.
Yes, you did.
I'll make some lunch.
The good news was Jemima had won the game. The bad news was that she and Alvin had fallen out.
I think you better stop being a flea, Grandpa. It's just making things worse, and now nobody's having fun.
Don't you worry, Jason. I've got a much better idea. You go and ask Alvin if he'd like to play table football with you. I'll do the rest.
Okay, I'll easily beat you at table football. As long as I don't get bitten again. I want to give that dog a bath.
So I went into the garden with Alvin. I had no idea what Grandpa was planning until I saw this. Grandpa had taken his clothes off and put Peter's football kit on. This time Grandpa had gone too far. He was standing on the table, pretending to be one of the footballers.
Can I be the red team, please?
Yes, okay. Ready to play?
Goal! 1-0!
Beginner's luck.
Luckily, Alvin was so busy trying to win that he didn't notice that I had an extra player, or that it was my extra player who was scoring all the goals.
2-0!
I was lucky.
4-0! Go, go, go! Oh! 5!
I've never seen anyone play like you. How do you do it?
Oh, I just relax and try to have fun.
You mean you don't care about winning?
Not really.
Weird.
Goal! 6-0! Yes!
Well, this not caring thing seems to work.
Maybe you should try it.
At 6-0 down, I'm willing to try anything. Come on, let's go for it.
We played on. Grandpa was doing a great job for my team, and as for Alvin, well, he started not to care so much. And the less he cared about winning, the more he started to have fun.
Goal! At last! 6-1.
Good shot.
Thanks.
Goal!
Nice one, Jason.
Thanks.
I don't believe it.
Alvin's losing and he's enjoying himself.
This was definitely worth waking up for.
Goal!
That's it. You've won, Jason. I don't know how he does it. He's an incredible player.
Well done, Alvin.
Come and have some lunch.
Of course I couldn't tell him that the really incredible player was Grandpa.
Oh, I really enjoyed that, but I think I better go and get changed now.
I picked Grandpa up, put him in my pockets, and rushed back indoors.
I'm sorry I was so annoying earlier, Jemima. I just wanted to win too much.
That's okay. We can play table football again after lunch if you like.
Great. I'll easily beat you at table football. Only joking.
I put Grandpa down on the floor. He whipped off his shrinking cap and came back to his normal size.
Oh, we did it, Jason. We got Alvin to have fun even when he was losing. Ha! Teamwork, eh?
Yes, Grandpa, teamwork.
Oh, Grandpa, you've woken up.
You missed a great game.
Did I?
We're going to play again. Do you want to join us?
Oh, no, thank you, Alvin. I'm a bit too tired to play football.
Oh, Grandpa, you don't have to actually play. You're so funny. Come on, Alvin.
Grandpa in my pocket! The beach is my favourite place, and I love spending time at our beach hut. And guess what? Someone new in town had just bought the beach hut opposite, and he works in the Sunny Sands Bank. And today, Mum had invited him round for a party. And it was going to be a pirate party.
Yo ho ho and away we go, over the waves so.
And the reason why we were having a pirate party was that, although our new neighbour worked in a bank, what he really, really wanted to be was...
Yo ho, heave ho, Horatio!
a pirate! A pirate called... Horatio Heave Ho! Now, Horatio had only just found out that his great-great-granddad, Grumpy Beard, was a pirate. And that's why he wanted to be one too. He loves his parrot Stinky,
Who's a pretty boy then?
he loves his pirate ship,
What a fine vessel.
and he loves Grumpy Beard's secret chest that he's never opened. But most of all, he loves roaring...
Yo ho, heave ho, Horatio! Why don't we open the chest at the party with our new friend, Stinky? What a good idea! What a good idea!
So that's exactly what happened. Horatio went to unlock his great-great-granddad Grumpy Beard's chest for the first time. And in the chest, there was a bottle.
A bottle!
And in the bottle, there was a message.
A message!
A message! I wonder what it says.
Treasure!
I knew it!
The treasure that I buried will soon be in your hands. So dig until you find it. On the beach at Sunny Sands.
Sunny Sands?
If I can dig up treasure, I'll be a real pirate. Let's get digging, me hearties. No time to waste. Hey, Stinky? Oh, no time to waste.
Absolutely! To the beach!
Oh, no, Grandpa. You're better off at home. Digging is very tiring.
I'm coming too, Jason. There's something a bit odd about Horatio. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I think you're going to need my help.
Not a shrinking cap, Grandpa!
Catch me if you can!
You know when Grandpa shrinks, he can get up to all kinds of mischief. He can fly off in my plane. He can chaff about in our Sunny Sands train. And today, he was running around the garden.
Jason, hurry up.
There was nothing I could do. I put Grandpa in my belt and ran after the others. So we all got into Campo and off we went. And Horatio said,
Treasure! Imagine that. We'll dig until we find it, and I'll be a real pirate. Yo ho, heave ho, Horatio!
When we got to the beach, we got some spades out of the hut and everyone split up to dig in different places. And I went into our beach hut to put Grandpa down.
We can't let him dig up the whole beach, Jason.
I don't think we can dig up the whole beach, Horatio.
I'm gonna dig until I find the treasure. That's what real pirates do. And I want to be a real pirate. I reckon it's under there. Let's move everything out, then we can knock down the hut and start digging.
No, Horatio, you can't! I was really worried that he'd see Grandpa, but Grandpa jumped into a jug on the table. Then Horatio picked up the table. Stop! You must stop!
What's the matter?
Horatio wants to knock down the hut to dig.
Well, I don't
What's the
think
matter?
Horatio wants to knock down our hut to dig.
Well, I really would rather you didn't.
You can't knock our hut down.
I want my treasure. Without my treasure, I'm not a real pirate.
Come and sit down. We'll get you some water.
I'll get it. You calm Horatio down.
I don't need calming down. I just need my treasure.
I grabbed the jug with Grandpa in it and rushed inside the hut.
That was close.
What are we going to do, Grandpa?
Well, you keep him busy in a piratey way, and I'll think of something.
Okay. I gave Horatio some water while I tried to think up a piratey way of keeping him busy. Suddenly, I thought of something. Let's all sing a piratey song while we have a rest from digging.
Great idea. But I don't know any piratey songs.
We do.
Yo ho ho and away we go, over the waves so rolling yo. Yo ho ho and away we go. Roar! Yo ho heave ho.
Come on, Horatio, join in.
Yo ho ho and away we go, over the waves so rolling yo. Yo ho ho and away we go. Roar! Yo ho heave ho. Yo ho ho and away we go.
I suddenly spotted Grandpa at the door of the hut. What was he up to now, I wondered?
Yo ho heave ho.
I soon found out. Grandpa was on top of the beach hut, joining in.
The waves so rolling yo. Yo ho ho and away we go. Yo ho heave ho.
Suddenly, I saw Grandpa running towards Horatio's hat, and then he disappeared under it.
Well, I know a song, but I still don't have my treasure. I'm not a real pirate if I can't dig up treasure.
Oh, but you are a real pirate.
Yes, you're definitely a real pirate.
What way am I a real pirate?
Well, you're very brave. Yes, you're very brave.
Oh, you are. You're incredibly brave.
Am I?
Yes, and you can roar.
Yes, I suppose that's true. I am brave, and I can roar like a real pirate. Yo-ho! Heave-ho! Horatio! Ah! It's a scuttly thing! There's a great big scuttly sea monster under my hat! Ah!
Of course, I knew exactly who the big scuttly sea monster was. Grandpa!
Get him over here as quick as you can.
Okay.
I'm no good as a pirate. I didn't know any piratey songs. I'm not brave, but I still don't have my treasure.
Why don't you have a rest, Horatio? And maybe we can get some ice creams.
Lovely. You have a little rest, and we'll get the ice cream.
And I'll stay and guard the beach hut in case he has any more ideas about knocking it down.
I'm never going to be a real pirate, Stinky. Not like Grumpy Beard, am I? No, you're not.
Yes, you are.
Who's that?
Of course you are. Don't be alarmed, me old hearty. I'm Captain Teeny Toes, the smallest pirate ever to sail the seven seas.
Yes, I can see you are really ever so small.
Ever so small, but ever so clever. You see, today, pirates don't have to dig up treasure.
They don't?
No. Who needs treasure when they got friends?
Friends?
Who are? Friends like the Mason family, for instance. Think of all the fun you could have together on this lovely beach. Now, you wouldn't want to dig all that up now, would you? Eh? Mom so charming and bubbly. Dad so kind and helpful. Jemima so pretty and so full of fun. And Jason, bright young lad, always ready to lend a hand. And then, of course, there's Grandpa. Well,
The funny old man, you mean?
well, he might be old and funny, but he's really quite wonderful, you know.
Is he?
Oh, everybody wants to be a friend of Grandpa. Grandpa's a genius.
Well, I never.
Here you go, Horatio. We came back with the ice creams, and I handed one to Horatio. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Grandpa about to jump off the pirate ship.
How are you feeling, Horatio?
I'll tell you how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like a real pirate, I am.
That's good.
I had a dream, you see. And in my dream, a tiny little pirate called Captain Teeny Toes spoke to me and said, to be a real pirate, you don't need treasure, you just need friends. And I've got all of you as my friends. All of you. And Grandpa, of course.
Oh, yes, and Grandpa.
Who I'm told is a genius.
Really?
At the end of the afternoon, I took my genius Grandpa home and rushed inside ahead of everyone else. I put him down on the floor, he whipped off his shrinking cap and came back to his normal size.
We did it, Jason. We stopped our new friend Horatio from digging up our beach.
We did, Grandpa. And do you know what I call it? Teamwork.
Teamwork!
What a day! Oh, Grandpa, I'm so glad you didn't come with us. Exhausting. But I'm sure Horatio will come and visit you soon. He thinks you're a genius.
I wonder where he got that idea from.
We managed to stop him from pulling down our beach hut and digging for treasure.
Well, that is good. I always say, my friends are my treasure.
That's odd. That's what Captain Teeny Toes said.
Who?
Don't worry, Grandpa, you wouldn't understand.
Grandpa in my pocket! It was Saturday, and there was great excitement in our house. Mum and Dad were going to a wedding, so guess who'd come to look after us?
Haven't you left yet? You should be gone by now.
Great Aunt Loretta, Grandpa's sister.
It's all right, Loretta. We've got plenty of time.
What if there's a traffic jam? What if Campo breaks down?
Campo never breaks down.
Go, go, go! And take the present. Oh,
Bye.
Bye.
go!
Bye.
Bye. And don't hurry back.
And with that, Great Aunt Loretta ran upstairs.
She's up to something. I can smell it.
I'm ready.
Ready for what?
Ready to carry out my great plan.
Not so great plan, more like.
Yes, this was the day we found out about Great Aunt Loretta's not-so-great plan.
I'm going to give Mum and Dad a big surprise. I'm going to redecorate this room for them.
You can't do that.
Oh, yes, I can. This needs livening up. We need bright colours, fancy patterns.
It needs no such thing.
Don't worry, you'll like it. I'm getting somebody in to help. Somebody who knows all about decorating. An expert.
An expert?
Yes, Roger.
Roger?
Yes, Roger Splodger.
Roger Splodger?
Now, we need to cover everything. Come on, Jemima, come and help me find some dust sheets. And you, Jason, hurry up. Roger Splodger will be here any minute.
I knew what Grandpa was thinking.
It's not a great plan, Jason. It's a terrible plan. Roger Splodger has got to be stopped.
Not the shrinking cap, Grandpa!
Catch me if you can.
When Grandpa shrinks, there's no knowing what he'll get up to. He can run so fast that I can't catch him. He can fly on Gordon, my toy seagull. He can even chuff around in our Sunny Sands train. And he can hide in very small places. They're coming back, Grandpa! Hide!
But Great Aunt Loretta, you can't take the sheets off our beds.
Don't worry, I'll put them all back after. Oh, where's Grandpa? He's gone for a little lie down, I suppose. It's just as well. He'd only get in the way. And so will you. And so will you. Go on, all three of you. Go on, go and play in the garden.
But Great Aunt Loretta, can't you shave him? Please.
Go. Go. You can come back when it's all done.
And soon, Roger Splodger arrived.
Right. Got my paintbrush at the ready. Let's get started.
Hold your horses. Got to clear the place first. Now, you put all those ornaments
Into the box. I know what I'm doing. I'm an expert, I am.
This was a disaster. Roger Splodger was taking things off the shelves where Grandpa was hiding. There was no time for him to escape. Any moment, Roger would see him. And he did.
Hi, Loretta. Come and look at this awful ornament.
Now they've got lots of awful ornaments. Just put it in the box. Right, let's start with...
Some wallpaper.
Oh,
I've got some smashing wallpapers for you to choose from. I'm an expert at wallpapering, I am.
Roger Splodger and Great Aunt Loretta were so busy looking at wallpaper that they didn't notice Grandpa peering out of the box.
difficult to choose. Oh, they're all so gorgeous. I know.
We'll have all three.
That's just what I was going to say. And we'll have them in...
Stripes! I'm an expert at stripes, I am.
Grandpa didn't like this one bit. He knew it would look horrible. He had to do something.
Right. Now you cut some lengths of paper. I'll go and mix and paste.
Great. You can be my helper.
No, you can be mine.
It was time for Grandpa to put his plan into action. He wanted to do something to stop Roger from being able to get on. So he pushed a roll of wallpaper onto the floor. Roger Splodger was a bit confused. Then Grandpa pushed another roll onto the floor. Roger Splodger was even more confused. Then Grandpa pushed another one. Roger Splodger went back to the coffee table. Grandpa was hiding behind a paint pot. Any moment Roger would see him. And he did.
Hold on. I know I put you in the box. What's going on?
Meanwhile, we were watching Great Aunt Loretta mixing up the wallpaper paste.
Don't you know it's rude to stare? Go away! Shoot!
Strange things going on. First the wallpaper rolls off the table all by itself. Now I've got a moving ornament.
We haven't got time to bother about ornaments, Roger. We've got a whole room to decorate. Come on!
While Great Aunt Loretta and Roger Splodger got on with the wallpapering, Grandpa jumped out of the box again and hid behind the pot of paste.
I shall do the pasting.
Grandpa pushed the paste pot with all his might.
Oh, don't just sit there. Help me up.
Great Aunt Loretta had hurt her foot. Soon, Roger had found some frozen chips to put on it because he couldn't find any peas.
Oh, forget the wallpaper. I know what'll be quicker.
We'll paint the walls.
We'll have bright orange on this wall.
And deep purple on this wall.
Ooh,
They're my favourite colours.
But they definitely weren't Grandpa's favourite colours. He needed to stop Roger Splodger before it was too late. While Roger Splodger was stirring the orange paint, Grandpa jumped onto the shelves behind Great Aunt Loretta.
Show me the colour, Roger. I want to see if it's bright enough.
Roger Splodger brought the pot of paint over to show Great Aunt Loretta. Grandpa was standing in his ornament pose again. This time he wanted Roger to see him. And he did.
Oh! I look like a giant satsuma! Some expert you are!
It's not my fault. It's that ornament. It moved again.
I'm sick of you and your ornaments. What ornament? Where is it?
There. It's gone again.
That's because it was never there. You're imagining things. I'm gonna go and clean myself up in the
Great Aunt Loretta never says the word toilet out loud because she thinks it's rude.
And you're gonna start painting!
But Roger Splodger wasn't going to start painting. He was going to start looking for the ornament.
Right. Show yourself. Where are you? You horrible little
This time
ornament.
Grandpa had gone too far. The ornament was running from one hiding place to another.
Out you come. Out you come.
Any minute Roger Splodger was going to catch him.
I'll track you down. I'm an expert ornament tracker, I am. Give me.
We couldn't stay outside a moment longer.
What's the matter? What are you looking for?
It's this ornament. It's a little old man, and it keeps moving. It's been giving me the wim-wams all morning. It made me spill paint on Loretta. I think it's alive.
You think an ornament is alive?
At that moment, Grandpa ran through the kitchen.
Jemima, why don't you go and check on Great Aunt Loretta? I'll look after Mr. Splodger.
Weird stuff is happening and nobody believes me.
I believe you. Weird stuff happens here all the time. I think the house is trying to tell you, so it doesn't want to be decorated.
You really think that?
If I were you, I'd leave before anything else even weirder happens.
Just try and stop me. I'm off. You can do your decorating yourself.
And with that, Roger ran out of the door. As soon as he'd gone, Grandpa came out of his hiding place.
Cap off, Grandpa, quick.
He took off his shrinking cap and came back to his normal size.
Oh, smart thinking, Jason. We stopped Loretta and Roger Splodger from ruining our lovely home. Teamwork, eh?
Yes, Grandpa, teamwork. We cleared up, we put everything back where it belonged. Just before Mum and Dad came home.
Oh, everywhere's looking very clean and tidy. Somebody's been busy.
I've got to get out of this stuffy suit.
Oh, and I've got to get out of this ridiculous dress.
That's the last time I get in an expert, I can tell you.
I'm glad to hear it. That Roger Splodger was a nightmare.
How would you know, Grandpa? You never even met him.
Grandpa in my pocket!
The wonderful world of
Mr. Whoops had invited me and my sister Jemima to his toy shop. We were very excited because it was our turn to pick Mr. Whoops' Toy of the Week. Mr. Whoops is called Mr. Whoops because he's always having little accidents. He falls over things.
Whoops!
He falls off things.
Whoops!
He even trips over his own feet.
Whoops! Oh, I wish I could come and help you choose. I love Mr. Whoops' shop.
Sorry, Grandpa, but it's a kids-only thing. And we've got to go now. I'll go fetch Mum.
Kids only, eh?
I knew what Grandpa was thinking.
I think I should come too. You might need my help.
Not the shrinking cap, Grandpa.
Catch me if you can.
You know what happens when Grandpa shrinks. He can get in my toy car and make it go. He can chuff about in our Sunny Sands train. Sometimes he just runs about for all he's worth, and I can't catch him. And today, he'd done just that.
Mum and Jemima are coming. Quick, hide!
Before I could stop him, Grandpa jumped into Jemima's bag.
Grandpa gone for a little lie down, has he?
I expect all that singing tired him out. Come on, Jason.
So off we went in Campo to Mr. Whoops' toy shop. And Mum said,
Are you the only two children going?
and I said, I think so. When we arrived, guess who was there too? Floyd.
What about...
Floyd lives in the house opposite, and he goes to my school. He loves boasting.
Look at my new watch! I'm gonna get you!
He loves playing jokes.
Come in! Boom!
And he always wants everything his own way.
Okay, you can be the goalie.
So it won't surprise you to know that Floyd wanted his own way about the toy of the week.
This one, I'm sure.
I want to see that jigsaw.
Right, jigsaw.
No, the castle! No, the face paint!
Mr. Whoops had one of his little accidents. Just then, Grandpa jumped out of Jemima's bag. Now you know what he's like when he's in the toy shop. He has the most wonderful time. Because Mr. Whoops' toy shop is Grandpa's favourite place in the whole world. And he always finds something new to play with. So we all started looking for the toy of the week.
Hey, Jason, what about this?
Jemima had found a puppet.
This looks good too. What have you got there? Puppets? Let me have a go. Don't think much of this. This wig for a start, pathetic. And what stupid trousers. No way could this be toy of the week. It's too babyish.
But little kids will love him. He's so cute.
Actually, I've got more puppets. And a whole puppet theatre out the back. We could put on a show.
Brilliant!
Okay, as long as you do it my way.
Right, this way.
While the others went to fetch the puppet theatre, I stayed behind to talk to Grandpa.
This puppet show will never work. You know what Floyd's like? He always wants to take over.
Don't worry. I'll get him interested in something else. I don't know what yet, but I'll find something.
While Mr. Whoops tried to put up the puppet theatre, Grandpa climbed inside a furry pencil case. Mr. Whoops had another little accident.
You need a bandage, Mr. Wood.
Thank you.
Oh, let's go and get one.
It was time for Grandpa to put his plan into action.
Did that pencil case just bark? It did! How did it do that? Look, it's nodding its head. Hey, Mr. Whoops, this is cool.
Well, bless my bow tie. I had no idea it was a barking pencil case.
Of course, it wasn't a barking pencil case. It was a barking Grandpa.
You've done it, Jason. Now we can do our show.
I don't want to do your silly show anymore. I'm playing with this. I'm going to call it Nigel, after my dad.
While we played with the puppets, Grandpa played with Floyd. All was going well until Jemima got her strings tangled up.
Oh, no.
What a mess. That's because you wouldn't listen to me, sausage fingers. It growled at me. How does it know what I'm saying? Has it got a computer inside or something?
This was a disaster. Any moment, Floyd was going to find Grandpa. But just then, our friends, Izzy, Dora and Shanae arrived.
Just what we need. An audience.
We're doing a puppet show.
Trying to do a puppet show, you mean? This is what happens when you don't do it my way.
While everyone was looking at the puppets, I ran over to Nigel. Phew. That was close.
Floyd was making me cross, bossing Jemima about like that. But I know just how we can stop him. Now, this is what we'll do.
So, should the puppet theatre be the toy of the week?
Give me the puppet, Jemima. I can untangle the strings for you.
Will you? Thanks, Jason.
And while we're waiting, everyone else can have fun trying out my new toys!
While nobody was looking, I put the clown puppet and the face paints into the doll's house. I wasn't sure what Grandpa was going to do with them, but it was all part of his plan. Unfortunately, Floyd had a plan too. While Grandpa ran into the doll's house, Floyd decided to play a joke on Mr. Whoops, like this. And Mr. Whoops had yet another little accident.
Got you there.
While everybody was helping Mr. Whoops, I went to see how Grandpa was getting on. How are you getting on, Grandpa?
I'm ready. You can open the door.
This time Grandpa had gone too far. He was wearing the clown's wig and costume and had painted his face.
Come on, Jason. It's showtime!
Everybody sat down to watch our show. I had the animal puppet and Jemima had the clown. Of course, she had no idea that it was actually Grandpa dancing on the end of the strings.
The wonderful world of Mr. Whoops, whoops. We're here at his shop. Hooray! We wonder what toy we're going to pick for Mr. Whoops today. Whoops!
How's she doing that?
We may pick a kite or a kangaroo. Or maybe a dog that speaks. We might pick a clown that keeps falling down as our toy of the week. Whoops!
Oh, Jemima, you're absolutely brilliant! She's absolutely brilliant!
Look, I'm sorry I bust you about. I didn't realise how good you were.
That's okay, Floyd. Nor did I.
The good news was that the clown puppet was voted Toy of the Week. The bad news was the Toy of the Week had to hang in the shop window. Dora, Shanae and Izzy had gone home, but I was worried about Grandpa. He couldn't spend all week sitting in the window. I needed to get him out. But how? Before I could do anything, Mum arrived to take us home.
That little clown looks very lonely all by itself. Looks like it wants somebody to buy him.
And that gave me an idea. While Mum bought the clown puppet, or rather Grandpa, I got the real puppet out of the doll's house. And I put Grandpa's clothes in my bag.
There we go.
Mum drove us home in Campo. Me, Jemima and Grandpa. I sat on my own at the back, so that Grandpa could take off his face paint and change into his own clothes. Then I put the clown's costume back on the puppet. We managed to swap just in time. I rushed in ahead of everyone else and took Grandpa out of my pocket. He whipped off his shrinking cap and came back to his normal size.
We did it, Jason. We stopped Floyd from bossing Jemima about and we picked the Toy of the Week. And all it took was a little teamwork.
Yes, Grandpa, teamwork.
Oh, Grandpa, you're awake.
We picked a really cute clown puppet.
And here it is. I bought it for you, Jemima.
Oh, Jason, thanks. We did this great show, Grandpa. Pity you missed it.
Yes, I like a bit of clowning around. Love boom 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 boom.
Oh, Grandpa, that's very good, especially at your age.
Yes, but my clown dance better, though.
Grandpa in my pocket. Dad had brought me, Grandpa, and my sister Jemima to our favourite place, our beach hut on the beach.
Jason!
We'd only been here for a few minutes when who should we see coming round the corner?
Whoops!
Mr. Whoops. Mr. Whoops is called Mr. Whoops because he's always having little accidents. He falls over things,
Whoops!
he falls off things,
Whoops!
he even trips over his own feet.
Whoops!
Well, if it isn't Mr. Whoops.
Hello, Mr. Whoops. What have you got there then?
I'm doing my bit for Sunny Sands, picking up the litter, making the beach all squeaky clean. Oh, look! There's another bit. Whoops!
Oh dear! I think I've twinged something in my back.
Sit yourself down, Mr. Whoops.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you. You too. I can't believe I was so clumsy.
Don't you? What you need, Mr. Whoops, is some kind of machine to help you pick up all this litter. Then you wouldn't have to bend your back.
Oh yes, Grandpa was right. What Mr. Whoops needed was the perfect little litter picker. Dad offered to take Mr. Whoops back to his toy shop in Campo.
That's very kind. So long as it isn't any trouble. I don't want to be any trouble.
Just then, who should turn up? Mr. Mentor the inventor.
The bottom of the afternoon to you all.
The very person to invent a litter picker for Mr. Whoops.
A litter picker? Tell me more.
Now, Mr. Mentor the inventor lives in the lighthouse in Sunny Sands. He's always coming up with really crazy inventions. Like this, the grassy buggle jumper. Only the bugs liked it even more than he did. Then there's this, the automatic haerostatic that gives you a new hairstyle every day. And this, the Huffer Puffer Pillow Fluffer. Everyone loves going to visit him in the lighthouse and trying things out. And he likes trying out other people's inventions too.
I'd love to invent a litter picker for Mr. Whoops. It's a fabridiculous idea.
Mr. Mentor doesn't just invent things, he invents words as well.
Let's go to my lighthouse and see what we can do, eh?
Oh, poor Grandpa. You'll have to stay here because you can't manage the lighthouse stairs.
Oh, I'll just have a little lie down in the beach hut.
Okay. Come on, Mr. Mentor.
I knew Grandpa had no intention of having a little lie down. As soon as the others turned their backs, out came his shrinking cap. Not the shrinking cap, Grandpa!
Catch me if you can.
Now, you know when Grandpa shrinks, he can make my toys go. He can get into my car and drive it about. He can fly off in my plane. He can chuff around in our Sunny Sands train. And he can even make Gordon, my toy seagull, fly. Or he can just run so fast that I can't keep up with him. And this time, he'd done just that. I had no idea where he'd got to.
Jason!
See you later.
At the lighthouse, Mr. Mentor was turning out box after box of stuff to see what he could find to make a litter picker. Grandpa would surely be on his way, and I guessed how. I needed to distract Jemima and Mr. Mentor.
Mr. Mentor, how about looking on that shelf over there?
Okie dokie.
I managed to do that just in time, and in flew Grandpa.
Well, I don't know. Perhaps there's something brilioso in here. Let's have a look. Let's see.
While they carried on looking, Grandpa started to have fun. He climbed up onto a shelf and ran along it. Jumped, slid down, and made a dingy thing ping.
What's that?
It's my ping-a-ding-a-dong. It's never worked before. Now it's pinging and dinging and donging.
It's amazing! What's it for?
No idea, but it's working.
Just then, Grandpa made a whirly thing whirl.
Goodness, my whirly-wheelie whizzer is whirling and wheeling and whizzing.
Could it pick up litter, do you think?
Oh no, it's not a litter picker. It's a whirly-wheelie whizzer. Quite different, my dear.
Grandpa then popped a horn, and it set a whole lot of other horns popping.
Oh, it's a miracle. My poppy tootle toot is popping and tootling.
What's going on?
No idea, but it just goes to show you never know when an invention is going to start working or why.
And just then, I saw Grandpa jumping into something.
I've just had a spectacular idea. We can use this for the litter picker.
Oh, I think we can do better than that, Mr. Mentor.
Jason, Mr. Mentor knows what he's doing.
But there's nowhere to plug it in on the beach.
You're quite right, Jason. Let's look over here.
Grandpa got out of the grass box and ran across the floor. Next thing I knew, he was standing next to a peculiar-looking bird and pointing at it.
We can use that bird. What is it?
I'm a little litter picker. I'm a little litter picker.
It can peck up litter in its beak. Brilliant. Hang on. It just spoke.
Probably. Things seem to have a life of their own in here today. Oh, I think it'll be wonderbubble. It needs a bit of work on the inside and a bit of work on the outside, knobs, levers and strings. But then, it'll be the perfect little litter picker.
So after a bit of work on the inside and a bit of work on the outside, Mr. Mentor had this. It had knobs and levers and strings, and Mr. Mentor walked around showing us how it worked. You just pulled a lever, and its head went down, and it pecked up the litter.
How wonderbubble is that, eh?
Spectacularly wonderbubble.
Fabadiculous.
Absolutely fabadiculous.
Let's ring Mr. Whoops. So I dialed Mr. Whoops's number to tell him to come straight away. And very soon, he arrived.
Whoop! Whoops!
Let me present you with the perfect little litter picker, Mr. Whoops.
Ooh, I love it. I love it.
And Mr. Whoops started to try out the litter picker. But you know what Mr. Whoops is like.
Whoops! I don't know what happened there.
Are you okay?
Yeah, thank you. You see one woman I'm up and then I'm down. I just keep on tripping over my feet.
It stopped working. I think something snapped inside.
Oh no! I've broken it! How could I be so clumsy?
I'm sure it wasn't you, Mr. Wood.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Mentor. It's one of your masterpieces.
Grandpa had a plan. He jumped inside the litter picker and tried to find out what had broken.
Oh, Jason was right. The string that makes his mouth work has snapped. Well, I can fix that in the blink of an eye.
I think it's mended.
Mended? You clever boy. Let me see, Jason.
I didn't really want to hand the bird back to Mr. Whoops because Grandpa was still inside.
Hand it over, Jason.
Yes, go on. I want to see it working again.
I'll be very careful this time.
To start with, Mr. Whoops was very careful. Jemima put down bits of litter for the bird to pick up. And the bird said,
I'm the perfect little litter picker. I'm the perfect little litter picker.
It's amazing. I can't believe it talks.
I don't remember inventing the talking bit, but there are so many things I don't remember inventing because I invent all the time, you see.
Who's a lovely litter picker, eh?
I am. I'm a lovely litter picker.
Do you want to go, Jemima? Whoop!
Now, as you know, when Grandpa gets into things, he can make them go. So now he was making the litter picker fly. And he flew right out of the lighthouse window. This time Grandpa had gone too far.
It's incredible, Mr. Mentor. It talks and it flies.
I don't remember inventing the flying bit either.
It's heading for the beach. Let's go! The litter picker landed at the beach hut, and Grandpa jumped out. As we arrived, I just caught sight of him running towards the beach hut. So, as the others ran to the bird, I ran to Grandpa. He was trying to find somewhere out of sight of the others so that he could take his cap off.
I knew it was
Cap off, Grandpa, quick!
Oh, Jason, Mr. Whoops got his litter picker, and it's all down to us.
Yes, Grandpa, I'd call that teamwork.
Teamwork.
You should have seen it, Grandpa. It was
Later, Jemima couldn't stop talking about it.
It was just amazing.
Mr. Whoops was certainly very pleased.
And it flew. Can you believe it flew, Grandpa?
Yes, I can. Mr. Mentor is an excellent inventor.
And it talked. It said...
I'm the perfect little litter picker.
Yes. Grandpa, how did you know?
Oh, I've known a lot of little litter pickers in my time, and they all sound the same.
Oh, Grandpa.
Grandpa in my pocket! There was a lot going on in the Mason house today. Yes! Mum was in the kitchen doing her latest hobby, making fancy dress costumes.
Aren't I just the most beautiful fairy tale fairy that you've ever seen?
And it wasn't just Great Aunt Loretta who was dressing up. We were all going to the Sunny Sands fancy dress party. And we all had to be fairy tale characters.
What's so funny? You'll laugh on the other side of your face when you see what you're wearing.
Grandpa, time to try your costume on. You too, Jason.
What do you think we're going to be, Jason?
I hope it's something good, like a knight in shining armour.
I fancy being a giant. Thought it'd make a change.
But Mum had other ideas for us. Yes, we were going to the fancy dress party as... Big Elf, Little Elf.
What do you think?
Very nice.
Very nice. We don't look very nice. We look very fantastical and very fairy tale-like.
I know.
Especially me.
I know.
But you've taken so long making these that you're going to run out of time.
I know. I've still got Dad and Jemima's costume to finish, and I haven't even started on my own.
Exactly. You need help. Luckily, I know someone who's absolutely brilliant at making costumes. My very good friend, Mrs. Maradadi.
Mrs. Maradadi wears the most amazing and unusual clothes. Like this. And this.
And here she is now.
Mrs. Maradadi makes them all herself.
Darlings, I came as soon as I heard the terrible news.
What terrible news?
I gather you have a costume crisis, a dressing-up disaster, a fancy dress fiasco.
Well, I just said we needed a bit of help.
You need an enormous amount of help. Who made these dreadful costumes?
I did. I thought they were rather good.
Oh, no, darling. The colours clash, the bows are too big, the skirt's too short. Your wand is bent. And what are you two supposed to be?
Big Elf.
And Little Elf.
But you can't possibly be elves. Everybody knows that elves wear green. You cannot have a red elf. And they don't wear big beards like this. These are for gnomes. And what about your caps? Everybody knows that elves wear flower petal caps.
Actually, this is exactly what elves look like.
Oh, yes, and how would you know? You've never seen one. Unless you're telling me you have elves at the bottom of your garden.
I think I'd better get on.
Things weren't going very well for Grandpa, and they were about to get a whole lot worse.
I know what we can use for Grandpa's flower petal cap. This old thing.
No!
You can't! Grandpa's cap is magic, and when he puts it on, he shrinks, like this. And this. And this.
Catch me if you can.
I'm the only one who knows about Grandpa's magic shrinking cap, and we couldn't have everybody finding out about it now. That would be a disaster.
Give it back, Loretta.
I won't.
But it doesn't look anything like an elf's cap.
It doesn't now, but it will. Oh, try it on for me, please, darling.
No, I don't want to.
Do as you're told, Grandpa.
Oh, come on, don't be a silly elf. Oh,
I had to do something. If Mrs. Maradadi put Grandpa's cap on his head, everybody was going to get the shock of their lives.
Now he's gone for a little lie down. Typical.
Oh, it doesn't matter, darling. Once I've turned this into a divine flower petal cap, he'll never want to take it off. Now, show me what everybody else is wearing. My things, darling?
So off she went to make Grandpa a flower petal cap and to see what everyone else was wearing.
It's all right, Grandpa, they're gone.
We've got to get the shrinking cap back, Jason.
But the shrinking cap was already a flower petal cap, and now...
You don't look like a king. You look like a strawberry ice cream sundae. The breeches are too tight, the shirt's not ruffly enough, and the crown is too big.
I thought I looked perfect.
So did I.
I didn't.
And who are you?
A fairy tale princess, of course.
More like the kitchen maid. You'd look better in a sleeping bag, darling, but not to worry. I can fix it. I can fix anything. See what I mean? A flower petal cap? Fixed.
Great. Let's see what it looks like on Grandpa. Don't lurk, Jason. I can't stand lurking. Oi, Grandpa, don't be so lazy. Come on out, try your cap on.
No.
Oh, he always was awkward, ever since he was a little boy.
Let me try Great Aunt Loretta. He might do it for me.
Oh, thank you, Jason. What a helpful little elf you are. Oi, hurry up, Grandpa. Mrs. Maradani wants you in the garden.
The good news was I had Grandpa's shrinking cap. The bad news was it was covered in flower petals.
I've got it, Grandpa. You can come out now.
Oh, well done, Jason.
Of course, Grandpa being Grandpa had a plan.
So, Mrs. Maradani wants to see me in the garden, does she? Right. Shrinking cap, please, Jason.
Quickly then. Shrink, Grandpa, shrink.
You know what Grandpa's like when he's got a plan. There's no stopping him. Off he ran through the sitting room and across the kitchen.
There are too many people about. I've got to get her on her own.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
Oh, where's Grandpa? Did he put his cap on?
Oh, yes.
Should think so too. Where is he then?
I'm not sure.
Going back to bed, I expect. I never knew such a lazy elf.
Oh, it's no good. They're still not working. They look dreadful. Ghastly. A complete and utter disaster. What are we going to do? I need a clever idea.
You're not going to rip them up and start from scratch, are you, Mrs. Maradani?
Aha! That's the clever idea.
No way! I love my costume.
I got rid of Jemima.
So do I.
And Dad.
Actually, I quite like mine as well.
And Great Aunt Loretta.
How dare you run away like that? Come back! Oh, this is too much. Too much.
Now, I just had to get rid of
We're
Mum.
working with an artiste of the very highest quality. What are we going to do?
I expect Mrs. Maradani would like a cup of tea.
I think we could all do with one.
Now it was up to Grandpa.
Well, well, well. If it isn't the famous costume maker, Mrs. Maradani. Come back. I want to talk to you. Now, there's nothing to be scared of. Not everyone gets to meet a real live elf.
You're an elf?
But of course I'm an elf. Red jerkin, red trousers, fluffy white beard, pointy shoes. What else could I be but a cute little elf?
I don't know. I've never seen a cute little elf before.
This time Grandpa had gone too far.
Oh, you're divine. And you look just like Grandpa and Jason.
Too right I do. And Dad looks just like a fairy tale king, and Jemima is exactly like a fairy tale princess.
Really? Are you sure?
Well, I should know. I come from fairy tale land after all. And as for Loretta, she's the spitting image of all the fairies I've ever met.
Oh, darling, I had no idea. How sweet of you to tell me.
You don't have to do a thing with those costumes. They're perfect just as they are.
I understand, darling.
You go home and leave them to it. But don't tell anyone you met me. No one will believe you anyway.
It'll be our secret. Promise.
And with that, Grandpa jumped off her hand and was gone.
Oh, well. At least I got the flower petal cap right.
Cup of tea, Mrs. Naradadi.
Oh, no thanks, darling. I'm going home. You don't need me. You're a wonderful costume maker. I just want to say you all look absolutely divine, as if you just stepped out of a fairy tale. I'm off now to make my own costume. See you at the party.
I always knew she was peculiar.
I rushed out to the garden just as Grandpa came out of his hiding place. He took off his flower petal shrinking cap and came back to his normal size.
You make a great elf, Grandpa.
So do you, Jason. Teamwork, eh?
Teamwork.
We all helped Mum to finish the costumes. And soon we were ready to go to the Sunny Sands fancy dress party. Dad was a king, Jemima was a princess, Great Aunt Loretta was a fairy, and Mum was a pumpkin.
You look divine.
I know.
Come on, let's go.
Put your cap on, Grandpa.
I don't think so.
Grandpa in my pocket! Today, we were playing the Captain Dumbletwit board game. Dad and Jemima had taken Wolfie out for the day, and Mum was in the garden, practicing her latest hobby, juggling. When suddenly, one of our friends dropped by.
Whoops!
Yes, it was Mr. Whoops. Mr. Whoops is called Mr. Whoops because he's always having little accidents. He falls off things, he falls over things, he even trips over his own feet.
Whoops! What a beautiful music box, Mr. Whoops.
I know. I fell in love with it the moment I saw it. And I know just the person to give it to.
Who's that?
Miss Smiley. She loves music. And this musical box plays such a lovely tune. I've even made up a song to go with it. And I'm going to the cafe to sing it to her.
Yes, today was the day Mr. Whoops was going to sing a song for Miss Smiley.
To tell you the truth, I'm a bit nervous about singing it to her.
You need some practice.
That's exactly why I'm here. I was hoping to sing my song to you first.
Oh, that would be lovely. Yes, please, Mr. Whoops. Sing away. We'll all pretend to be Miss Smiley.
I have to wind the box up first to make the music play. For that, I need the key. It's at the back here.
Mr. Whoops turned the box round, but the key wasn't there.
The key's not there! Oh, that's odd. Perhaps I put it in my pocket.
But the key wasn't in Mr. Whoops's pockets either.
Perhaps you dropped it in the garden. You had a little accident there, remember?
Oh, yes, I did.
I knew what Grandpa was thinking.
Mr. Whoops is going to need our help, Jason, and I'll be more help to him if I'm small.
Not the shrinking cap, Grandpa!
Catch me if you can!
You know what happens when Grandpa shrinks. He can get in my car and make it go. He can fly off in my plane. He can get into our Sunny Sands train and chuff around. Or he can just run for all he's worth. Quick, Grandpa, hide! They're coming back!
No luck, I'm afraid. The key's gone missing.
So was Grandpa by the look of it. Gone for a little lie down, I expect.
Maybe the key's in the toy shop. I had a little accident there too.
Can I come and help you look for him, Mr. Whoops?
Jason's a very good looker.
That's good, because I'm a terrible looker. Shall we go?
Best of luck.
Now Grandpa would have to find a way to get to the toy shop by himself. And he did. Soon we arrived at Mr. Whoops' toy shop. Luckily, Mr. Whoops was busy looking for the key, so he didn't notice Grandpa flying in. I quickly hid the plane, and Grandpa quickly hid himself. We were just in time.
Whoops! Oh, the key's not down there. Maybe it's on the top shelf. I'll fetch a ladder.
Grandpa, get down, quick! Mr. Whoops is coming and he'll see you!
I found the key, Jason. It was in the fire engine. Catch!
I've got the key, Mr. Whoops!
Jason, you are a good looker.
Of course, I couldn't tell him that the real good looker was Grandpa.
Where did I put the musical box?
You must have left it at our house.
Whoops! How silly of me. We'll have to go back and get it. I'll just put this ladder away. Safety first and all that. Whoops!
Are you coming, Grandpa?
Of course. I'll race you.
Grandpa jumped off the shelf and ran to his plane. He took off and flew out of the shop. Ready when you are, Mr. Whoops. Grandpa easily won the race back home, which wasn't surprising, as we were walking and he was flying.
There it is! Now all I need is the key. What did I do with it?
I knew Grandpa had to be somewhere. Then I saw him waving to me from behind the chair.
Got it! Phew!
Are you going to sing for us, Mr. Whoops? I mean, for me.
Well, I'm going to give it a try. Mama. Actually, I think I need a glass of water first.
So Mr. Whoops ran off to the kitchen, and Grandpa ran after him, just to check that he wasn't going to have another little accident. Mr. Whoops found a glass.
Whoops! Oh, my wonky glasses! Oh, my wobbly bottom! I've had a little accident! I've dropped the key down the plug hole! That's it! It's lost forever now! I'll never be able to wind up the musical box, or play the lovely music, or sing my song for Miss Smiley!
Oh, poor Mr. Whoops. Come on, let's sit down.
Grandpa, where are you?
Here.
We'll never find the key now.
Oh, yes, we will. I told you I'd be more use if I was small.
But Grandpa, you're not small enough to fit down the plug hole.
No, but I am small enough to climb up the pipe at the other end.
So we went outside and found the other end of the pipe. And Grandpa crawled up it. How are you doing?
Got it! I'll send it down. Way!
You're so brave, Grandpa.
Oh, it was nothing. I'm a bit damp, though.
And a bit smelly. Now I had the key, we could all go to Miss Smiley's cafe. Me, Mum, Mr. Whoops, and Grandpa, of course, hiding in my pocket. As soon as we arrived, Grandpa jumped out. He climbed onto the shelves so we could get a really good view. Mr. Whoops was feeling nervous.
Oh, this is a lovely surprise. Have you come for some of my summer mess?
No, I haven't come to eat. I've come to give you this. Whoops!
Oh, what a gorgeous box. Oh, thank you, Mr. Whoops.
Oh, it's much more than just a box. I'll show you. All you need is this little key. Whoops! Oh no! I don't believe it! I've lost lost the key again!
We'll help you find it.
Thank you.
So we all started looking for the key. I couldn't see it anywhere, but I could see these. This time, Grandpa had gone too far. He'd taken off his clothes and was running around the cafe in his pants.
It's such a small key.
I was wondering where Grandpa had got to, but I didn't have to wonder for long, because the next thing I saw was this. The key was in Miss Smiley's summer mess pudding, and so was Grandpa. Grandpa, get out of there quick, before somebody eats you for pudding. I found it!
Thank you, Jason.
While Mr. Whoops was getting ready to sing, Grandpa had cleaned himself up and was back in his clothes. I put the key in the back of the music box and wound it up. The music started to play and Mr. Whoops started to sing.
Miss Smiley, delicious Miss Smiley. I love her sizzling sausage stew. I'm a fan of her tropical smoothies too. I adore her groovy grape delight and her cherry chunks all red and white. There's no one I rate as highly as Miss Smiley. Miss Smiley, scrumptious Miss Smiley. Her peacock salads are a healthy treat, but her chocolate sundaes taste so sweet. When it comes to puddings, I must confess, you just can't beat her summer mess. There's no one I rate as highly as Miss Smiley. Smiley, Miss Smiley.
That was so lovely, Mr. Whoops. It makes me want to cry.
When the song was over, I put Grandpa back in my pocket and we all came home. I rushed in ahead of everyone else and put Grandpa down on the floor. He whipped off his shrinking cap and came back to his normal size.
It was a bit messy, Jason, but we did it, eh? Teamwork.
Teamwork!
Oh, Grandpa, you're up and about. Mr. Whoops kept losing the key, and Jason kept finding it. He's such a good looker.
Just like his grandpa.
Well, it was all worth it. Miss Smiley absolutely loved her song.
I'm sure she did. Miss Smiley, scrumptious Miss Smiley.
Grandpa, how come you know the tune?
Oh, I expect I heard it before somewhere.